not in it. It's cool, special more.
Oh, it's Chico!
The player bites the hard, and it's the play.
And the cool, Logan, Shinny.
Yeah, no shaky, and the Rachel.
Stay together now. Nice steady little pace, not too hard. Keep outside the post. Right outside the post, everybody. These are the two men that take all the flack over here, these two men here. John Joe Walsh, your Mayo man. And Paddy Burden, he says he's a Kildare man from Athy. I don't know whether he's or not. A lot of people say he's from Laochra. I'm just wondering, but he says he's a Kildare man anyway himself. Don't be falling off at the back now altogether. This is no race at all, this. Nice steady pace now all the way. Okay, Martin. Well, my first time leaving Waterville to go to an All-Ireland final was in 1953. A great friend of mine, Eric Murphy from Cahersiveen, the two of us played football and we grew up together and we did everything together. And we cycled to Cahersiveen, which is 10 miles away. We got on the ghost train all night long, then we went in that ghost train right through to Dublin. And we got into Dublin, I think, about 9 o'clock in the morning. Got off that and went to Mass and went up then. I remember it was the Pillar Cafe, you know, Connell Street, which became a famous haunt for us for years after. We went in there anyway and we had a bit of a breakfast and we went straight on to Crow Park and we bought a few bottles of orange and all that type of stuff. But we went to the final and we got into Hill 16, there's where we were. And I can tell you, there was a lot of the game we didn't see because there was a massive crowd in there, something in the region of about 90,000 that day. But it was a great experience and we got on the ghost train on the way back anyway and we got back into Cahersiveen and the two of us were sound asleep, you see, and we should have got off in Cahersiveen. And the ghost train carried on down to the Point, that's Renard Point, which would be about another 4 miles down the line. And Jay, when we woke in the morning, there was nobody around, and they all had gone, and we were in the train asleep. So Eric said to me, Jay, we'll have to get back to Cahersiveen. So we decided we'd walk up along the track. We did. We got our bicycles and came back to Waterville. That was our first experience, and my first time at an All-Ireland final.
Hagan Mick o Hiri has, o'n Gron. As out nachref tradisiwn pelle wyntresh, gwdigur honig Mick o hen yn Laochra, as bin I ddws na gaegadi. As ta mi dinisiw staps yn enw ish fehed, as ta Mick o ar y moher gyffoel. Diet pan ra nach mwyd lachedd blian I siarfish cwmyn lo Clasgau.
With this long ball and Lynn Higgins has gone back to Lois Neeson. Mick Neeson has it now on the 21-yard line. He taps it back to Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer is high and it's gone over the bar. A point by Mick O'Dwyer.
Hosan Farsha gymryd Cwchiri. Mwydia Cwig I Shea. Agus ni reir y siaf. Gael hoch ni yn y deg yn y iesio. Iledig o herbish. Agus sôl feridor.
Mar imideoid nar chos na sé gimar le céir i'r dwys, fi anna chomas ar fadon, mar chosan toir. Stochog go viet far agref sé dwyne chos na chosan toiri y bar I fi neud yn lean y lyn, agus chroche sé sy'n I gimar ta lyn y lachwy, anna chos bont as i'r fad. Gydiel ar fad chyn sŵlich nad ar ar, fi sé tapig, fi sé laudir, anna chomas caideon, agus anna wasfige.
Michael Dwyer takes the 30 free in the shadow of the New Hogan stand. It goes to Michael O'Connor.
Agus fi sé mláv a has an orsyn, bynnydd na blianta yn ref mi hal o dyd ystwch yn nyr dy lain, y mwyc yr eim ar fad. Byacyd a halw cosentor ni bear na.
The 30 were not now to be stopped, and Mick O'Dwyer added this neat point immediately after Don McCullough's first score.
Breaking my two legs was in 1964 was something that I was very few people would have come back from. But my whole life was about football. And that year of 64, I broke collarbone and I broke fingers and I broke my two legs. A lot of people thought I wouldn't recover from those breaks in 64 and 65, but sure I continued to play football for another 20 years after that.
And Mick kicks his kick, a curling one, and it is over the bar for a point for Kerry.
Agus a bhaid na haimside son bhí sé an dul suas a meas na dusa. Agus binéanúir da ríide bes docha an nocht sé an sár chrunis I bhí ann a bhid. Geaulis na chayan chaide raich mi hava connell a lár páisce. Bích mi hava daí istig sa chúine nos madar a chalorg hínéis agus chuideach agarach sé macha hanga sálo bhí rud givéach mi hava connell chu sír na bhíal. As ní bhícha gechún pútímpel agus le na chuis yes. Le hisin is scórálach sé gcónaí.
It is straight over the bar, another point for Kerry.
Bé an duine a scóráil an scór a bhuiir de sa tír cúplóir in íige chéile. So bhí sé díra chomá mar a tosaigh agus a bhí sé mar chosandóir. Dhéan sé anna chleachta, agus bhí anna bhachnamh déanta gearn slíos fear chun tel dimmer.
It's Seamus Murphy, or Seamus Fitzgerald, I should say Seamus Fitzgerald, way up the first end of the field, it's Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer with it now, shaking off Kenny Kearns, getting inside his shot, and he's running to the ball and it's over the bar. Oh, there's Mick O'Dwyer, just rhythm and football, running with the ball, and sending that ball as it's in his stride, without changing stride, sending it over to make the score now 11-9 in favour of Kerry. The amazing Mick O'Dwyer, once a half-back, now a very effective forward.
I went from half-back from 56 to 64, and then I went from 64 then to 74 as a centre forward, full forward and corner forward. So I got great enjoyment out of that, but I suppose my best football certainly was played at left half-back. There's no question or doubt about that.
I Mick gohíntaach mar bhí sé macalóir san éir, bhí sé sciupa, bhí sé Laochra, agus ag an am céanna bhí sé anglic mar atá sé inis. Bhí sé ag prabú an seois an siúd agus bhí sé anjacarí a bharcáil. Cé gur bhain mé sásavas bheith ag breanúir ag imach níor bhain mé lán sásavas bheith ag iarí a bharcáil.
Is go hanna waig ag tógáil kicking a sear, agus ag tógáil scór nó an lád.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. Good vibrations. She's giving me
Blocked down there by Bertie Cunningham. Comes back to Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer quickly over the bar. And it's a point for Kerry, scored by Mick O'Dwyer. Quick.
Well, I played in a lot of good players all over those years, outstanding footballers. But I think the best player that I ever played in, and I will say this without fear of contradiction, would be Sean O'Neill of Down. He was playing right half forward when I was playing left half back for Kerry. And we had some marvellous duels, the two of us, unbelievable duels. In 1960, I remember, 61 actually, I was playing with Sean O'Neill as well at left half back. And I took my eye off him for about 2 minutes. In the very start of the game, the ball hit the upright high up. And the drop down, he banged it into the back of the net.
The ball hit the upright, came down, and it came onto the foot of the stumbling Sean O'Neill, and into the net it went. What a surprise goal, and what a valuable goal.
And for the rest of that game, I never took my eye off him, actually. I think it kept him scoreless for the rest of the game, but he was still winning and creating a lot, you know. But that was one thing, you know, and I think that goal was the goal maybe that made the difference in the end.
It's all bhfuil négin da bhuiin ile éirna go mórtas na sraige, chomá le cerbhán ile éirn, dimar sé I glethe canis na héirn néan nuire, agus ahimmart chomá sa sin denúir ar fad, go rimar sé báche trócaí I glethe canis na héirn le sínsir chéirí.
In 1974 then, I stopped playing with the county, but continued to play with my club until I was just over 50 years of age.
Liam Higgins now playing a roving full forward. Liam out gets it back to Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer is shot. A shot that's high and a shot that's good. And it's over the bar. And Mick O'Dwyer puts Kerry 2 points ahead.
Tá dtíine áir agus dearan siad go galar é an fell nó na máint nó sport I gcuitin. Well, más galar é, tá an galar sin a chuiristeach go traum ar Mick O'Dwyer ón lá sé léige. Agus ní luthe bhí sé tríochnathe le chéirí mar imróir, ná gur hosan sé smaoine bheith mar bhainisteoir a chéirí, The hardly sé sin sa bblion éidir go 75.
Together we'll stand, divided we'll fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together.
Bhí sa gin go fear anna díhol chu fada. Bhí na héanaí cruthaithe ar a báisciige, agus bhí taithíige ar a bheith gimmart mar chosantóid agus mar chosaí agus darlam sa gur anna bhaintáiste sin.
And I remember well going into Killarney, and I decided that I changed the whole structure of training and everything in there. I got a team in for 27 consecutive nights into Killarney, and I ran the life out of them. And that was some of the old diehards of Kerry football were in there. But I had a kind of an idea that if I could get fellas exceptionally fit, you know, above and beyond the other teams in the country, that we do have a good chance of maybe winning in All Ireland. And Dublin had achieved that.
Bhean trein all díon siúl agin an ine agus bheith pelegin chuma an ine agus an rud cíanna an saharan agus deagnád a bheith chluthagin an damach. Agus na haunta san na bhíh treináil agin an mát agus an déardín beidir.
Here's a dangerous one. Nicely chipped up there by Mikey Sheehy and over the bar. Oh, a Mikey Sheehy chip up. Out towards Ogie Moran. Ogie cutting through the centre. Alan Larkin is after him. John Egan with the ball now. In front of the goal now. And it's the goal. John Egan into Brendan Lynch. He's shot and a save by Paddy Collum. Fine save. Two good saves by Paddy today. And the game is over and Kerry are the champions. Kerry are the champions. And the Dublin followers numbed into silence by the brilliance, the absolute brilliance of a Kerry team who outmaneuvered and outsped this Dublin team of champions.
Mick, it was a tremendous display by Kerry.
Yeah, one of the best displays, Mick, I'd say, in the history of the association by all team. I thought they played fantastic football.
Does it give you as much pleasure, Mick, as the medal you won yourself?
Even more, I would say. Yes.
I think that certainly was a landmark because we came from nowhere in 75 to win that one.
Fuair nó man is gá bblion agus fithe gan irid agus duine bháine go pósta fuair an bacheléirí agus cáil mhúr ar a thoríthe choirí ile éireann.
Ar a bhíon cuine géine ach a gceann agus a gimmick go mthaimís ar blá clia.
Mallat scéile bhí ansan in 1976. Fuair nó chéirí bhí daoine á beag fiabhas breise á an léana. Ach bhí cuimhín ó hifirná an tréis áthar a dhéanamh ar rian blá clia, agus ag glethe ceanna 76, nuair a bhí forbór na naoine bhfuil simachar bell den dúirim go meach an bhuaig a chéirí do bhuaig blá clia ortha agus do bhuaidir go machar.
Tries to save him, but Anton goes through him. This is Brian Mullen, and it's another goal! Another goal for Dublin! 3 goals and 8 points to 10 points. We're coming up to the final whistle, and Dublin are All-Ireland champions of 1976.
So we were beaten by Dublin in 76, which was a big disappointment, but I think, you know, the victory in 75 got to those young fellas' heads and they were carousing and enjoying themselves at the festivals in Tralee and all these places. So I'd say that was the reason why we lost in 76.
Breaking now. Bill Pascalan. The forwards running on inside him. Out now to Sean Walsh. Sean's kick is good, it's over the bar.
Iad an greibh níos mó curgad cúte faoin glethe sin ná mar a bhí ar éon chleithrí. An focail béir le tá chu ná an rubber. An tríú chlethe atara. Chlethe lechanis a bhí ann. Chlethe úntach pelle. Tí rígas lechaí a glethe lechanis na héireann.
And Sean Walsh has it, it's a goal! And Tony Hanaho has it now, in front of the goal, it's a goal! And it's another point for Kerry. John Egan will score. In now to Bernard Logan. He's in front of the goal. He can't miss. He has it. And there's the final whistle, and Dublin has qualified for the All-Ireland final of
Dublin beat us then, but that was one of the best games that was ever played in Croke Park. One of them, they tell us anyway. Well, the Dublin people tell us that anyway, because of course, you know, when Dublin win, they'll tell you that. So the press as well would be Dublin orientated, and they also said it was one of the greatest games of all time.
Duration class on vidare a bro mycket ideas poste vi ge.
Vi kan buitige, kan anava, ach vi roi kan kailtige, as hele, agus vidare ranar af session maharohin agus kurichan of ruid an ocean malerstegen ever hege agus beter bruid ideas.
We were in trouble, I suppose, in 76 and 77. We were lucky maybe a big man up front, but luckily enough, Ogie Morden was out in Ballybunion, and I was having a try game inside in Tralee one evening, and I said to Ogie, would there be any fellas out there around Ballybunion or Kerry that you can bring in? He said, he said, there's a big fellow out here, all right, he said, but he's one of the laziest midnights in the county, and he's about 18 stone weight. But I said, what attributes has he got? Oh, he said, he's a big fielder, great fetcher of the ball, but he's in bad condition. So I said to Ogie, anyway, bring him in for a trial anyway, we'll have a look at him. He brought him in, and he certainly was in very, very bad condition. So I decided anyway to keep him on the panel for a while, and we kept working at him anyway. But there I think we found the key to our successes for the years after. He was the man that really settled that side, because we had a great option when we had him inside. You could drive the ball in high or low into him, and he certainly would win them in the year. And he had marvellous vision, and he was the greatest distributor of the ball. And of course he had the players around him then to finish.
Breaking down, Kerry getting moving now as Jack O'Shea has it. A dangerous ball rolling on left in the corner, and there's no argument, no doubt, no nothing. And Liston outfielding everybody, the ball back into Liston, and it's another goal! Another goal for Liston, and Kerry are up to Jack O'Shea and Sean Walsh, one of the maligned, one of the maligned aspects of the Kerry team, a centre field that surely paved the way for a victory that was well earned today.
I'd like to say a special word of thanks to one man. Oh, I don't know how we're going to thank him. You know, he's done everything for us. He's left home every evening at 5 o'clock and doesn't get home till 11. And he runs the thriving business down in Morphil. I don't know how he manages, but he never leaves us down. I'd like to say a special word of thanks to Mick O'Dwyer.
But I mean, 78, that was, as I said, the great years, one of the great years. And it was the year that made that side, and we went on then to win 4 All-Ireland titles after that.
Keep on running, keep on hiding. One fine day I'm gonna be the one to make you understand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be your man. Keep on running, running from my arms. One fine day I'm gonna be the one to make you understand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be your man. Everyone is laughing at me. It may be beautiful side. Keep on over the bar.
And it comes up now to John Egan. John Egan up to Owen Liston. Liston back to Egan. And now they're really rolling. Egan across to the far side of the field. Mikey Sheehy. In it goes now. And
Keep on running, running from my
going to Kerry once again.
Gydyn yr o, sgaffadyn yr o, na hwdyn yr o, gwref pwydyn ag e Ciri yn orsyn, gwref se biognach do iemta, bwch yn to.
Mikey Sheehy, the anxiety, the importance of this kick. 5 in a row they're bidding for. Mikey Sheehy to take the kick. Martin Furlong in the goal. He saved it! He saved it! And he sets it out to Pat Fitzgerald.
Oh, Martin, what a save!
Something I never said in my life before, but I think it's something that I had to say at some stage in my life. I think there certainly was a couple of controversial refereeing decisions there at the end, which cost us.
They're trying to manoeuvre, organise, engineer, 3-2, Offaly in front of the goal. And the referee awards a free into Offaly, dead straight in front of the goal.
Ní mór an am bhí fácha bhí círaí an tosaigh, as déan ga chéan círaí ar fud a dain, bhí ar a cain tá 5 in a row.
And it looks as if they were winning the way the Offaly men are just diddling and dawdling there. And here they come. This is Liam Connor, the fullback. A high lobbing, dropping ball in towards the goal now. A shot. And a goal! A goal! A goal for Offaly! There was a goal in the game. A goal!
As a bhí an bringloid, nó an fish, 2 in a row, nó 5 in a row, bhí sé marab.
Deistar má sir, go daíonn sé amach an fís go chus a cenis na héireann ó am go chéile nuide cosú dó. Agus go sé fósa chud I cheiste féin, cechaí ar cháil céireann an chluise sin.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
I watched that game for about 3 months, and I hardly left Waterville at that period. I suppose it was something like having a death in the family. It certainly was.
Chuig an 5 in a row I bhaim anna mór an Mick. Ní smó ar Mick dír 9 again.
Is cílam nuair a chuir sé har neis go dtí siomra an óstáin an tránónas an na scélam bógasteige, agus bhí sé ngalar na gás, bhí sé tochas a chin, an leanóch sé raig, an aideoch sé, cad a dhéanach sé, agus beidir an scéile tráhónas an nárginn sé agin na suas chuige, agus maharad nárginn, mar bhí anna chahuid an uasin IDS, ach níor ginn, agus len sé a raig, agus bhí bóhar glóver fós an ánda.
I suppose if any player deserves to win an All-Ireland medal, it certainly was Matt Connor. And I have no regrets now looking back that he certainly got an All-Ireland medal, whatever about the winning of 5 in a row or any other thing. Maybe if we had won the 5 in a row that day, maybe we wouldn't have gone on to have won 3 more All-Irelands in a row. I don't believe we would, because that certainly might have been the finish of that team.
You ready? All set? Is that all? We've only 4 full-backs, is that all? What?
The one thing that I regret in my life is that I wasn't able to be a professional footballer and then a professional manager after, because that's exactly what I wanted to do in life, above all the things I did in life. But the biggest interest in my life would be playing football and managing teams.
Right. In that direction around the poles, now we just do a nice pass round, all right? All together now. Come on, one good pass round. All outside the post.
And the gates are open, and here comes Kerry. And the plan, here comes Dublin along with them, and here come the pros.
Bhí Mick anna bhaid fads an siomra feistis from na claí móra, agus go mór bhór I barca chócaig agus na siomraí feistis. Chuireach sé an meán carta dul amach ar barc. Agus cíonlum bliana bháin, is toilm 9-8 toilm a gine rask máin. Bhí 3 in a row siúla ag an nám agus heasa goin an 3 in a row bhuachtant. Agus chuig Mick aige go bhí sé tuairt speech anna gáiríide bar fad san siomras feistis. Agus an naidir sa bhí sé caintach go háir de hit fiocla bréige mach sa bhíal. Agus frug sé sós na fiocla bréige chu sé seach na bhíal a réisiad agus chuig sé aiglis an speech, agus ní hóga endine in ceanndach a hála. Sné chó daríir agus a bhímar agus ógáir bhí chéan local deireach sé bhí mí sé géisteach leis.
9-8-3 de hála nach mór an rop henan chéna agus a hála leis an gweithin ó bháil. Bhí a gimmert an ag chorcaí hí sa bátí chuid Víidir chun tosig, hí deire leis an imirt nach mód, os bhí cic séir de chorca. Os bhí fána dunnach ó helín hógan, os de stiúb duine lena chlíáin taig ó Riley, os de bhúl sé an fell isteach a drón chúil, os bhí taig eile stí, taig ó mar a cú, os de rúg taig ar a bell, os de bhúl sé isteach an angachir i cúlaige corcaig iad chun tosaige chií agus deire leis an imirt.
Well, I thought at that stage, and I'd say a lot of people maybe around the country as well thought, and maybe in Kerry, they were kind of thinking as well maybe that I should go at that period. But we got together in December, the team, and you see 1984 was the centenary year of the organisation, and that was the year that we said maybe we might make one big effort to try and win league and championship that year. And we got together and we won the National League and we won the All-Ireland in 1984 with a team, as everybody thought, had aged and had gone over the hill. And they went on to win 3 more in a row after that.
People try to put us down, talking about my generation, just because we get around. They do look awful, talking about my generation. I hope I die before I get old. Talking about my generation, this is my generation, baby. Why don't you all fade away? Don't try to dig what we all say. I'm trying to cause a big sensation. Talking about my generation. This is my generation, baby.
Ben drasan abed, hí 8 cín do chréimecha ile éan buite ige Mícheál Ó Daoir, mar bhaine steois. Agus nuair a chuireann tú é sin leis méidir bhí déantaige do chéirí mar imireois, aber ní dólam go bhaid fá a háú yn aonáid ó éon duine.
Ach níl an ach éon ach seall, hí dean úr sin leis seall chéirí dar íre, hí lánacha éasta, as hí bainisteád nua hí sa gofcaig Billy Margaret. As a hánig fridan úntach pellistá lumsa an láthir I gofcaig sa blion 1987. De bhúdar chéirí, de bhúdar rísin 88, de bhúdar in 89, agus rida sin dairig Mick O'Dwyer as mar bainisteád chéirí.
And there's the whistle. Cork are the champions in what surely is the end of a glorious era of Kerry football. Cork win by 13 points to a goal and 5.
I don't think it will ever be possible to get a side like this again in any county, let alone in Kerry. I think they were an example to all the young people of this country. They certainly were the greatest footballing side of all times, and the greatest footballers of all times that played on those teams as well. I mean, you had to have a good side to win 8 All-Irelands in 10 years. I mean, they're finding it hard to put 2 back-to-back now.
I know people could say he was blessed with probably the greatest bunch of footballers ever. I don't just go along with all of that. I don't go along with it because human nature being human nature. To get lads into a state of mind that they can prepare themselves and have themselves right, you know, to win 8 All-Irelands in 11 years, that's an extraordinary achievement. And the common denominator from start to finish in those 11 years was Mick O'Dwyer.
We could have a grandstand finish here yet as Mick O'Dwyer delivers last second instructions.
I just got out in and I saw the writing on the wall as well, because more than likely I would have been pushed, but I got out before I was pushed. My days with football and involved in management and all that seem to be finished.
Bhí an chluigeanna Mick O'Dwyer ar Choladala. Bhí chluigeanna mar Philidor. Bhín chluigeanna sáir ar a bhí ar éon bhainisteoir sa tír sa riamh, agus bhí an chluigeanna ó hí cúsaí gnó.
Well, we're travelling through the middle of Waterville now. I was born there just on the seashore, and I started my businesses down below there at the bottom with the garage. Then I moved down here to the Strand Hotel, which we have a disco scene for all these tourists that come to Waterville every year. And from there then I moved up to the centre of the village where we have a nice tidy little hotel, Old Dwyer's here. That's now owned by my two sons. So I've had a little bit of Waterville from time to time, but moving on now and be selling it out, and I suppose I'll have moved to Kildare now quite a lot, and there's where my businesses are at the moment.
Far mór taistil le se ó dtír. Agus is cum leis céan ad a bhíon ar a dros, a nad bhfuil pelig an deran ó na hús. A taistil ón gorán, sús go dtí Kildare le haig sesiún tréála, had nas go círa i rís, had nas go Kildare beidir an ládar gion na rís. Ní chuann sé isteach riamh, mar tá sé an aclaí go fóil.
I've driven, I suppose, they tell me millions of miles all over this country. I've driven in the States, in the continent, and everywhere. But I enjoy driving, and I like being in a car all on my own, so I suppose that's a plus for me. I generally do about 70,000 miles a year, which is quite a big mileage for anybody to do. Well, I was resting here in Waterville for about, I suppose, 2 years, and there was no chance of I having anything to do with county teams anymore. I bought a boat and started fishing out in Derrynane. I bought about 100 lobster pots, and I was going to do big gashgiach, of course. I was going to clean the place out with lobsters and crayfish and all these things. So I went fishing for about 2 months. The next thing then, a gang from Kildare got on to me.
Ach bhíon galar fós na bheith. As nuair a fuair sé cuir a tap go dtí Kildare, mar bhainisteoir ar a bhairin sin, de glach sé go funbar leis. Is áilm gur sa bliain 90 an nóca tháinig sé, agus is cín an mair go léir a bhí ar Loch Lanta Kildare. Ní raibh creibh na héir an búteach an bliain 90 agus a fethe hoc. Ní raibh creibh lion búteach an úr a bháin idir atara, agus bin sa bliain 90 go chéag go sé.
Stochan ar bherstig ní hála dtír dul go Kildare gur cinenne nach chruigar fada bheitthe, mar hálóin sé abais nóir na raibh sé pléile fuir an hínsir chéirí tá na chunta héin. Gur ceart an an féhléin agus fihé bheith go nó na menúide hústá.
So I went to Kildare anyway, and I started the regime, and I started training the players that were there, got them all together. I think I got about 40 or 50 players, and we got people all over the county to send players in for trials and all that. The condition of the players there was unbelievably bad. I mean, in Kerry you'd never get players in that condition. So what I did in Kildare, I started all long distance work when I went there. And I kept at that all over that winter. And it was amazing. We built up great stamina in the players. And then when I got into the spring that year, then I started playing football. Well, in 1997, after Meath beating us, we knew that we had to get a few players somewhere or another. And I've been looking up, I think, that Kerry didn't need a fellow by the name of Carol Dwyer, and he was a very, very big help to us in 1998. He certainly was. He scored something in the region of about 15 or 16 points in that championship for us. So we certainly needed a few more players, and we got Brian Lacey, Carol, and Dermot Early. They came into the side in 1998, and I think they made a big, big difference to our team.
You know, Kildare people are amazing people. Every year they're going to win the Leinster, for as long as I knew. But when he came around, everybody knew realistically that they could win the Leinster, and that they could win the league, and that they could win All-Ireland. And that's the colour he brings with him, and the magnetism that he brings with him. And that's part of the greatness of the man.
But here they come now. A huge cheer greeting the Lily Whites. Straight to Martin Lynch, transferred there to Dermot Early, took the shoulder well. Inside towards Porrick Raven. Mark O'Reilly alongside him, fed inside towards Willie McCreary. Nice composure and a good point. With a father and son combination, that's the son, Carroll. Carroll taking it back from Martin Lynch. Just checking his stride, steadying himself and putting it over the bar. But we still have about a minute and a half to play. Who's got the strength? Who's got the stamina? Who's got the courage now to dig really deep? It's going to take something special. Martin Lynch is the player loose inside. Here it comes from Brian Murphy. It's a goal! Kildare score a goal! And it's Brian Murphy who's done it! Just over a minute remained. I think it's all over. It is, and Kildare are the champions. Champions for the first time in 42 years.
Where is this place we've come to? We don't know what to say. We long to see each other and are frightened of that day. You met me in a barren place. You walked me to the hill. We were so good for each other then. I know we could be still. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time.
This whole plan started in 1990 with your rival Mick O'Dwyer.
You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried.
Well, I think winning the Leinster title with Kildare, I think, was even bigger than winning an All-Ireland title with Kerry. It was, but I think even bigger than that. I mean, the hype that went with it that year in when we won it in 1998 and they hadn't won it for 43 years, I mean, that was a real milestone in itself. Marvellous display of football as well, because we played very, very well in that final against Meath.
Dalamis, Stolim Gael, the goal on all the Sahago Mariola and Pelix, Mariola and Shailal. Dalamis, Kudma, or Miko, Agus. Hancheraga, Stolim should have been Trenali's far. Have you come on Laochra Gael? Rio, Eland Dolphins, Bear Fishing, in Mahoodamshire.
Well, na gimid Kerry agus Kildare chéile aber bhí anna omíochtán mar vís a gadaine go raibh an máiste agus an tarabhúnse á dheachant le chéile. Agus dar nó Mick O'Dwyer a bhó na heach leis na fáidí a haige was múdasna Mick O'Dwyer a bhó na heach leis na fáidí a haige was múdasna cína gálamse a tuin héna bhaid na heimse agus gálamse san choma habid agus chus sé sin leis an omíocht abid. A gelásan a bhí an tennis dishe ann mar jouw is fáidí. Ní brús dócha fáidí ní bhó ná mar bhí sé bhí hála díos.
I can tell you that the Kerry dressing room is always a very friendly place to visit, but this afternoon Paddy O'Shea was extremely tense, although he did say to me in a quiet moment that he's worked very hard since January but didn't really want to do any interviews. They really do respect Kildare and to a certain extent go into this game with a certain amount of trepidation.
Again, they've got to turn inside. Beautiful ball, Carl O'Dwyer against his native county. Kicking, and he scores. And Kildare go in front. Great catch. Ken Doyle coming forward. Good delivery towards Martin Lynch. That's a great ball. This should be it, and it's the equaliser. No time wasting. O'Dwyer kicking from the hand. Getting across the ball and putting it over. Carol O'Dwyer has kicked 3 points for his adopted county. And Brennan had to be very quick about that to keep it away from Stack, and Kildare hold on to it. That's a vital take. The referee whistles and it's all over. Kildare have dethroned the champions and reached the All-Ireland final. For the first time since 1935, Glenn Ryan has been a magnificent captain this afternoon. He kisses the ground in delight. The fans come in to invade Croke Park. And it's going to be a Kildare versus Galway final. Charlie is happy.
Something I never looked forward to. Something I never thought that would happen in my career in football. It has happened now, but sure, I mean, that's part and parcel of sport. We have to accept the wins when they come. We did it today. I think we did it in style.
Well, Australian snake counters na bona is small area before me, because na for Anna Haas of us son. And the eek son, we share all this the man come outside and begin to be Sean Rod Crew of the Haldor Raven and booked in Tifkiri in All Ireland semi-final. Ach da ma hastian with Mahurim Shimayola son. Shlean last far a big Mick.
But I don't agree with Paddy. I mean, I never wanted to meet Kerry, even though a lot of people in Kerry might think otherwise. I'm Kerry, and Kerry, and blood run through my veins. And I mean, if I am in charge of Kildare, that is because I'm there at the moment as manager, trainer and coach. But you can be certain sure when Kildare are not involved, I want to see Kerry win All Ireland titles. But that day I certainly did want to beat Kerry, because that was my job to do it. And I suppose in a way as well, you see, Carroll was a rejected player here in Kerry, and he gave a great performance that day as well. So I was thrilled for Carroll, I think, more so than I was for myself on that occasion.
Well, it's talk near a event in Gumbeg, but in Nigeria, you know, the Harleshe stock, in order to be Vishani Akara, I mean, Dimamele, and Corona Feg, the Doyle Green machine.
The pressure that I suppose was put on the players was a little bit too much. But I mean, what could you do? You just couldn't take them out of Kildare. I mean, all that was special in part of it. And it's something that the kids of Kildare will remember for the rest of their lives.
No idea, no ho. So on the vein about Ediran, Evi, Ege, Mick O'Dwyer, Gael Dara. I guess not enough on a Raveni, but Ege Gael Dara, on idea Craig Shea, but you let me rule tables. Maar na forne gur woder or no ho. Forne aan. Woder maar hampel likely of we crave no heden and noch a coig, woder hunt enemy of we crave no heden and noch a shea, woder here of we crave no heden and noch a shaft.
Or the vida sa canish in Aigna Gali, than gay the Wirlishna Kiel the father.
I suppose I became of age going to All Ireland finals, all right, in 1998 when we got to the final. It was my 21st All Ireland final, being involved in. And coming of age, maybe should have been finishing of age, I suppose maybe I should have got out at a stage.
The golden moment. Few of us, I think, realistically thought we'd seen a Kildare senior team playing in the All-Ireland football final. And it's their first All-Ireland, of course, since 1935, when they lost to Cavan. And they last won, of course, in 1928.
A big day, obviously, for the O'Dwyer family.
It is. Like I said last week, Micko's driven. Micko's still convinced that he has never got the credit of being the greatest manager of all time. And it's a mission still that's driving him, that he wants to prove. If you look even closely at that, I think that practice bottom as far as I know, Micko has been worn on many occasions. Yeah. Micko would be very superstitious.
And Tomas Mannion, they said he might have his hands full this afternoon against the likes of Martin Lynch. He's such a good player. Look how deep Michael Donlan has come. On for Kevin Walsh. A real tearaway play this. That's a great movement. Michael Donlan right through the heart of the Kildare defence. Laying it off here for Derek Savage. Savo playing it outside to Sean Olds, the player. And that has gone over the bar. Still McCormack. Now Glenn Ryan. Again, some isolation inside there, and it's working out well. McCreary's forward, and there's support from Mary, and it's in. Over the head of Corey Graven, it hasn't really made an impression so far. Carol O'Dwyer also striving to get into the match, and that'll do nicely from a Kildare point of view. He taps it over the bar. As Graven sets up Carol O'Dwyer, looking for two in a row. Trying to get away from his man, but fouled. That's a great ball. Donlan inside to John, the chance. Galway surely will score here, and they do.
sinné an sean chorn atá héir na láid a léan seo. An céadúir a brunnad an chorn sin néide go fethe ho. Captéan ó Kildare, Squire Gannon a gair Shell Bear. Bheach anna ann ar fadar nach éine Kildare agus Mick O'Dwyer ó Hiri agus Landín eile dá ngáthú Kildare Shell an Sam Maguire nua atá hir sa gaile fan láid.
There's nothing left now for me. Only to try and go on and win a Sam Maguire for Kildare. And I'm going to have one go at it this year.
Right, lads, finish out well now. Come on, finish out. Finish out well. Come on, let's go. Out to the end, lads. Come on. Come on. The last 40 yards now up to the pole. Come on, let's go, Martin. Come on, drive it on. Good stuff. Come on from the back there now. Good man. Drive it on now, lads. Come on, Jenner. Drive it on. Good stuff. Man, Porrick, come on.
Pebby dinner no Pebby Christian. A running Kinne, no na Kinne. Gan Mick O'Dwyer a Kappa, mar vanishtor in the phone de nation tagaden, of mar snarle, at the police mile, more than not. Bu voren markla go Mick O'Dwyer I said. But it's fair. And job of generation, vanishtor pelle, the stars to be on the wheel.
Only Neil Dowd Queen Spear now go my cat. An Jobson a bheith fachtig Mick o. Solim be bliana bhí sé adorg dar idir ná solim timppel 8 cairn o solim 8 cúig agus enimíoch Kevin Heffernan don job. Ich go sé sin síos go mar neach leis. Agus bhín cartaige.
Go on, okay, let's go.
But just to tell you one thing, I was never asked by Central Council at any stage of my life to even be part of the Irish teams that played against the Roads.
Right out, come on, let's go in.
They don't think they like me up there, but however, I mean, I'm a man of my own rights. I'm not going to be a president or a chairman of any provincial council or anything. I have no ambitions of going anywhere in the organisation. I'm there because I love the games, and that's the reason why I'm there, and I'm involved with players all my life. I love players, and I want players to be treated properly, and that's all. That's the only interest that I have, and that's the reason why I'm honest, because I'm not going anywhere in the organisation, and that's the way it's going to continue.
Bralum na ein rud le I chaf na hánta. Gomór war am le clia. Bín sé ar a havín sóm le clia a mór fallis. Agus isteach san éhe le scialt agus cecht agus críochtan. So tá sa gan a saoil agus a bháthir go róga sethe ach fós an íag san tá manach ardú leis agus tá ard besta go mar frénólaí agus mar duine agus fearr go raibh anna bhéimeige or an féinnig agus is stoilm a chain bheith chumín leis gur chu sé ar an bór ceart me agus ní dhéana me deróil leis an godó.
The most important thing, I think, the basic skills of the game, catching and kicking the game, and any players that spend a lot of time kicking and catching will certainly be the better players. We don't spend enough of time with the football now, and that's the big problem. But I suppose young fellas haven't got the time that we had in our time. You know, the more often you play with the ball, the better footballer you'll be, and skills are the most important thing of all. Fitness, fair enough, you must raise the fitness of all players, but if you haven't got the skills, you've got nothing.
All the way. Okay, I said, you okay, Parry? You didn't move him.
Mick O'Dwyer for me would be probably the greatest living GEA man insofar as he has won All Irelands as player and then has just transferred his whole life into management, both with Kerry and Kildare.
Dar no hi roi lor voor schadige stochen af wilene. Win edele semach. Dachtien heb on gemoofd is, aber die jetlag de goma onfraid lis. Ach neden lei een CV hage Michal O'Dwyer. Ni weg segene ka, maar weinig stil.
Tjern dini gewil Mick oig dol en ishak, Shilam gewil sheg dol en oige. Tashe kosul la dini Holly Sassna, Alex Ferguson, agus marshin de chapter ashi, scored 3 blin ella.
A nice 3/4 pace now, lads, okay? A nice 3/4 pace, that's how we want you to do. The full back line, where would you?
Film war cordo lenwinchlish, maar bejo garaushe each year no good one.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
I'm 65 years of age. I was born on the 9th of the 6th, 1936. A lot of people seem to think that I'm going to live to be 100. I don't know whether I will or not. A lot of my relations have done so. I have an aunt in America who's 105. My mother was 97. So there is longevity in my family. So with the help of God, I should make that turn. And I certainly will do my very best to do so.
Donahue too, in there too. In Seamus Murphy, or Seamus Fitzgerald, I should say Seamus Fitzgerald, way up the first end of the field, and Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer with the now, taking off Penny Turn, getting inside, it's shot. Algie's running to the ball, and it's over the bar. The amazing Mick O'Dwyer, once a half back, now a very effective forward.